What's up, Totally Inspired community? Welcome to another episode of Totally Inspired with me, your girl, Sibo Dube. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share, comment, and of course, we love the subscriptions. As you can see today, I'm not by myself. I'm joined by the beautiful, beautiful Xatyiswa, who is our guest for today. Exie, how are you, girl?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And I'm so excited to have you as our guest in the studio today. Well, to everyone that's wondering what's happening, we have worked around a virtual way of being together whilst we are apart. So don't mind what's happening here. It's all but some of our creative work that X and I got around to doing. But anyway, not to belabor the point, I would like Exie then to, introduce herself to the viewers, your name, your background, what have you been busy with?
Hi, everyone. I am so happy to be here. I've been following this show for a while, and it's always inspiring. So thank you for having me so much, man. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
So I am Xatyiswa Maqashalala. I am also known as Exie. I have a BSc degree in agriculture. I majored in crop sciences. I have a master's degree in sustainable agriculture, and I have a diploma in ministry and biblical studies. I am currently studying towards a postgraduate diploma in management, and I am also starting a PhD in leadership communications. I am a life coach. I am a public speaker, and I am a board member for Frederick Ebert Stiftung Foundation, a social democracy foundation based in South Africa. And I am also a writer and an academic editor. Thank you.
Well, actually, I don't even know where you get the time to do the things you do, but this indeed is a prolific profile that you've just shared with us. But maybe before we even go ahead to unpacking today's topic, because I think today's topic is very important for women and for young people as well, being Youth Month, and also just to encourage everybody that will listen to this message that you have to share, when you share about yourself. But before we actually get into the details of that, could you just give us a background? Because maybe some of the viewers might not know, but you are living with a disability. And maybe just to give some context, can you just take us through what this disability is and what is involved, and just explain to the viewers at home what it is?
Okay, thank you. So I have a condition called kyphoscoliosis. Kyphoscoliosis is a condition whereby the spine is a C or an S shape. And as a result of the spine being a different shape, the entire anatomy of the body changes. So some people with kyphoscoliosis use wheelchairs to get around, others use crutches, and I limp when I walk because my right leg is smaller than my left leg as a result of the spine that is shifted. And so that is what kyphoscoliosis is.
And actually, what are some of the challenges that come with actually living with this condition as you grow? Because I see you've got such a huge zest for life. You're so energized. But how are you managing? How are you managing those challenges? Maybe this is a two-part question: the challenges and how you're managing the challenges.
Okay. So some of the challenges that I have faced were being teased and being laughed at and being made fun of because my body is different from other people. And this started back in primary school. And some of the other physical challenges that I get tired a lot when I walk for too long, when I sit for too long, when I stand for too long, my hip joint or my back experiences pains. And so those are some of the challenges, as well as the fact that when I was younger, for about 5 years, I was in and out of hospital for surgeries, for corrective surgeries and operations. So those are some of the challenges that I have faced. And also there was a time when I was struggling with self-esteem because the challenge, you know, having a disability, people laugh and they make fun and they say comments, you know, that are hurtful. And so one starts to question themselves and their worth. But by the grace of God, I'm from a family that loved me so much. My family loved me so much. That even when I went into the playground and people were laughing at me, it really did not get to me that much because I always knew that I had love, you know, I was loved at home. And another thing that my family did for me was that they embraced the great things that I was doing, the good things that I was doing. So for example, I was very smart in school. And so my family would tell everyone that, oh, she's very smart. She's got a lot of sense. And so those kinds of things made me see that I wasn't just a person with a disability, but there was a whole lot more to me than just the disability. And another thing that really did help was the fact that as I was flourishing in class, you know, I was able to get out during break, and when they were laughing at me and I would say things like, yeah, but at least I'm passing, you know, I'm passing my maths.
Yeah.
And so when I was older and I went to university, I found the Lord Jesus Christ, and I found comfort in him. And I knew then that there was a reason to everything and that God loves me. You know, finding the love of God really brought me out. It made me comfortable, you know, and as well as accept my body, because it took a long time for me to accept my body. So receiving the Lord and knowing that God loved me made me accept myself and the way that I am. Not to say I am in denial, but I just learned to focus on what was working in my life and what is great in my life, and not the disability. There's more to me than the disability.
That's beautiful. I mean, I like the way you have unpacked the fact that you rose above those challenges by picking up and looking at the good that you have, you know, your ability to excel academically. And above all, I think the love that you got from your family has really played a big role in actually elevating your self-esteem, elevating your self-confidence, and that zest for life that you so beautifully exude. But let's shift things a little bit now, Exie. Can we just talk about your passion, which is agriculture? Where did you find this passion? How did you find yourself, you know, involved in agriculture the way that you are?
It's actually funny because I didn't care much about agriculture. And when I left university, I wanted to study something else, something totally different, but I didn't get accepted. And so I went to do a Bachelor of Sciences in Agriculture at the University of Fort Hare. The plan was that after I do this BSc degree, I will go on to study what it is that I like and what I wanted. But as I was doing the degree, I really got to enjoy it. I enjoyed the research part of it. I enjoyed the science part of it. And I think that's where I found my philanthropy. I've always been a person who was passionate about development, you know, seeing that I was teased a lot as a child. I wanted other people to be developed, you know, to find themselves in the manner that I had found myself. And so I've always just been passionate about people. And so when I was studying agriculture, I learned that there were different corners and there were different spheres of agriculture. And so after getting my degree, I started working for an NGO. And with this NGO, we got to do community gardens, we got to assist women in agriculture and to teach people about agriculture. And so then I found that, wait, I can merge all of the things that I like in agriculture, like in life with this agriculture, because I already have the degree now, it's not going anywhere. So let me just merge my love for people and development with agriculture to see where I can go. And so when it was time for me to do a master's degree, I did it in sustainable agriculture. So sustainable agriculture is basically looking at ways that we can continue production, agricultural production, without destroying the land, without destroying the soil, because we will need it for future generations anyway. And where will we stay if we do not have adequate and sufficient land? And so, so for my dissertation, for my master's dissertation, I decided to work with women and land, women in agriculture and land, and to find ways that challenges that women face when they're seeking land for agricultural purposes, and how to assist those women. And so right now, I work with different structures to merge all of my passions together in agriculture.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that combination of women and land is very interesting, because I mean, women are the primary caregivers for families, and you'd know that in Africa, land and agriculture really sustains people. That's what people are really dependent on, or else poverty would actually hit a lot of us. But now, I like the fact that your thesis for your master's, your dissertation really looked at, women in particular. Can you just help us understand, is there really a place for women in agriculture, and how can women excel and make sure that they are succeeding if they decide to get into the space of agriculture?
Okay, so the nice thing about agriculture is that agriculture has different spheres, like I said. In agriculture, we've got the politics of it, the policies that govern the way that agriculture is managed. And so if a person is passionate about politics and administration, that's the field of agriculture they go to, the policies. So if a person is passionate about finances and economics, we've got agricultural economics. So those are the structures that decide the prices. How do we price agricultural products, and international relations? Who do we import from? Who do we export to? And another field of agriculture is the food production, which is what I major in. That is. But even that food production in itself is different. There's animal production. There's
so is that what they refer to as animal husbandry, is it? Or maybe that's a different
animal science.
Yes, animal
but
science.
Even that, yes, but even that in itself is divided. There is animal husbandry, there is meat production, there is meat growth, animal growth, and so even with food science, with food agriculture, there's different ways to it. There's the testing of the food, and
that must be the best
agriculturist.
I think that's the best part.
This is where now agriculturists work with dietitians, for example. There's winery, there's brewery, and we also then have a different field of agriculture, which is the processing. So here we've got food processing, we've got clothes processing, because clothes are made from wool and leather and all of those other things. We've got aesthetics, the things that are used to make your place beautiful. That's also from agriculture. And we've got beauty in agriculture as well. That's where now we make your products for your facials and your ointments and your skin products. And so to a woman who wants to venture into there is a lot of space for women in agriculture. There's a lot of space, even though there are some challenges, but there is space nonetheless, because these challenges will forever be if we do not take up the space, if we do not infiltrate ourselves, but there is space. So one must just know what it is that they like to do, what it is that they want to do. And so, and agriculture, like I mentioned, all of these spheres of agriculture, and one can just be part of any one of those, but there is a lot.
Okay. Well, thank you, for taking us through that. Maybe very quickly, 3 points that you can share with us. What are some of the boxes that people need to tick if they want to be involved in agriculture? For example, do I need to have studied agriculture firstly? Secondly, in terms of financing, is there financing available for people that want to venture into agriculture? How do people go about getting funding, for example? So very quickly take us through those points for those that are watching and want to get into that space.
Okay, so agriculture is beautiful. I'm passionate about it, so I'll always speak nicely about it.
Very unique space, I must say. Yeah. So take us through.
Definitely. So one, you have to be passionate about agriculture. Agriculture is not, unlike other jobs, it's not a job that you go to in the morning and then you go home and it's all well and done. No, you remember that you're working with living things. You know, you're working with plants which are living.
Yeah.
You're working with animals which are living. You know, and so you need to be totally and completely invested. So one, I just want to say that people who want to venture into agriculture need to be passionate about agriculture. You need the passion. Secondly, you need to know what part of agriculture you want to get in. Is it the food production? Is it the processing? Is it the government part of it, and government and administration part of it? Is it the economics part of it? And even when you've decided which one you want to venture into, you still need to know which you like most. So for example, in food production, we've got crop production, we've got fruit production, we've got animal production, you know, which one do you like? So, and I always advise people to get into what they like, so that when there's challenges, and there's many challenges in agriculture, you're dealing with climate change, for example.
Yeah.
You're dealing with diseases and pests. And so, for example, this year, the Eastern Cape was dealing with locust infestation. And so those are some of the challenges that people in agriculture face. And so that's why I say it's very important to actually go into a field of agriculture that you like, so that when these challenges come, you are able to withstand them and be patient with yourself and these challenges. And thirdly, you need to align yourself with either somebody who knows what you want to do, or you can go to school. You ask, do you need to go to school? You don't really need to go to school, but in order for you to do this successfully, you need knowledge about it. You need to understand how these things work. So one, you can go to school, or you can align yourself with somebody who is well
like a mentor, maybe somebody that can coach you in that space?
Yes, or a consultant. You can work with, you can work with consultants. So for example, myself, I'm an agricultural consultant. There are people who've gone into agriculture with absolutely no knowledge, and I'm just there to assist them and to ask them the right questions.
Okay.
Funding in agriculture used to be available pre-COVID. I do not know now, post-COVID, because during the COVID lockdown, a lot of sponsors closed down. But otherwise, there are government places, and departments that still offer assistance. Sometimes they offer assistance in the form of money, and sometimes it's in the form of resources. So sometimes they will donate fencing, they will donate a JoJo tank, or they will give you medicines for the animals. And then it just depends on which part of agriculture you're with, because I know that even in the beauty industry, there are some there's some funding that comes through if you want to do aesthetics, or you want to work with snails or fish, fish scales. If you look for funding, I think there is funding. Maybe it's not as much as it was before COVID, but there is still funding nonetheless. Another thing that I like to encourage people is that they must work together. So you do not have to do this on your own. You can just work with someone. So for example, I'm in the production part of it. I do not know much about the economics part of it. And I don't need somebody within agriculture to do the economics. I can just get somebody who just likes, who is in the economic space, and we can just work around that. So I deal with the production, they deal with the money part of it. And we can also work with somebody who is in the transport industry, and they can work with transporting of goods from the farm, from the fields to the market. You know,
Yeah.
we can also work with somebody who is in the in marketing, you know, and they can work with us in terms of getting us what do you call this, contracts with big commercial places, you know, that sell agricultural products. And so I always encourage, it's better when you work with other people, because you can focus on what you're good at and they can focus on what they know and are good at.
Oh, that's great. I mean, like, the value chain has so many elements to it, and you on your own, you might just struggle to get things right. But maybe
Exactly.
Before we end, what are your plans? What are you planning to do? I see there's an academic side to you. There's also the agricultural side to you. Just tell us quickly, in the next 5 or so years, what are your plans and your goals?
Okay, so for the next 3 years, I am going to be focusing on my PhD.
Great.
But thank you. So I'm going to be focusing on my PhD in leadership communications. However, I do have a piece of land that I'm currently fencing, and
wow, like
the plan for that is food production. But more than anything,
is it your own land? Like you?
Yes, I'm a landowner.
Wow, wow, wow! Big up, girl! Big up!
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm a landowner, and there are ways that a person can own land. I think that you just need to be serious about it and work around the politics of it and just get yourself some land. So I'm a landowner, and the plan for my land is food production, but more than anything, it is to create employment. Like I said, I'm going to be focusing on my PhD, so I will not have much time to manage the land. So there's already an opportunity for me to create jobs through it. There's also an opportunity for me to teach women and young people how to manage agricultural products through storage or through farming for themselves. And also an opportunity for food security, because I'm from a rural area and my land is in a rural area, and there are people who go to bed without food, and there are child-headed homes, you know, with children who go home to sleep without food, and there's the mismanagement of child grants in the country, and we cannot turn a blind eye to that. So I'm hoping that what my piece of land can do is provide employment, provide food security for those who need it, as well as provide development through the teaching of other people how to do agriculture, how to practice agriculture, and how to make money by themselves.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, that's been such an inspiring conversation, Xie. Unfortunately, we have to call it, we have to wrap it up now. But before we go, just very quickly, what are the 3 parting shots that you'd like to share with the viewers at home, especially your message to young people and to women? Just 3 quick and brief shots. Points, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So we have a lot of challenges. Everybody has challenges. Everybody has things that they face that they do not like and are not comfortable with. But for as long as we focus on the things that are not working, we will always stay in those circumstances. For as long as we focus on what we cannot do, we will always feel less of who we are. We will always feel worthless, actually. And so I like to encourage people, and this worked for me, is that find things about yourself that are working and that are good. Find out what it is that you are good at. Find out what you are passionate about and run with that. Yeah. Challenges will always be there in life. There are many things that people will not like about you and will not appreciate about you, and that's okay. There's not much we can do about that, but what we can do is change our attitude. So I like to encourage people who are feeling like they're failures, like they're stuck. forget that for now and find out what it is that you're good at and run with that. Nothing is impossible with God. Absolutely nothing is impossible. And so just find what you like, what you are passionate about, what you are good at, and find a way to run with that.
Well, thank you so much, Exie. That's been very inspiring. You've had it for yourself, viewers. Find what you're good at and run with it. Find a way to win. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as I have. I think I would have loved for us to actually spend more time, Exie. I think maybe we can have you back here in future, and then we can talk some more around this very inspiring story that you're sharing. But for today, thank you so much, and keep inspiring, girl. We see you, and when we meet next time, I do hope there will be more that we can share with you. Well, to our viewers at home, please make sure that you subscribe, like, share, and comment. What do you think about agriculture? As a young person, as a woman, are you thinking of getting into that space? Are there any opportunities, or are there any questions that you might have for Exie? Well, that's it for today. Until next time, please do keep inspiring. I know it's cold out there. At least Exie and I have some fire to warm our hands up, but do keep warm and keep safe. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Exie.